Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with another food video, but this time I haven't ordered from a restaurant. I went to the local supermarket, the local Mercadona supermarket, and I picked up some of their pre-prepared meals. We're going to try some of these today, and I'll explain as I go through some of these dishes, if you like, some of these types of food that I've got here, which are fairly typical foods here in Spain. Now, the first thing that caught my attention is this thing here, which is called in Mercadona Gazpacho Blanco, the almendras. So instead of using tomatoes in this gazpacho, they're using almonds, and in other parts of the country you'll probably see this called Ajo Blanco, and it is on the side of the carton here, Ajo Blanco, which is like a white garlic drink or soup or whatever you like. And that's going to be the first thing that I try today. So let me pour this. Now you could probably drink this you could eat this with a spoon, or you could drink it out of a glass like this, which is what I'm doing. As you can see, it's quite thick. I'll just put that over there. And well, let's try this. The first thing today, this Ajo Blanco. Now you could probably have a little a block of ice in here if you wanted to keep it cool on a hot summer's day like we have at the moment. It's about 37 degrees Celsius, so I'm sweating out here at the moment, but I'm going to try this, a cool summer meal, if you like. Gazpacho, Ajo Blanco, Gazpacho Blanco, whatever you want to call it. Let's try it and see what it's like. You can really taste the almonds. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Almonds and garlic, and as you can see, very, very thick and sticking to the side of the glass here. But like I said, you'll probably see people eating this with a spoon, maybe in a like a dish like this one here, eating it with a spoon. But I've gone for the glass. I've seen people drinking gazpacho out of a glass as well. But this may be a little bit too thick, but tasty, creamy. I like it. I'll just keep the flies off that. Now, I'll put that out of the way, and I'll get stuck into the second thing that I'm going to try here today. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to try is this thing here. This is called boquerones, whitebait, I would say we would call this in Australia. Whitebait, anchovies if you like, anchovies, however you want to pronounce that word. But here they are called boquerones, and these have been in vinegar. And these are very, very popular in bars and restaurants as a tapa. Often you'll go to a place in the summer months and they'll put this down with some chips or some crisps, as you say in the UK. And these are not your average crisps, I'm going to tell you that. What I like to do is put one of these on top here, and this makes a nice little snack. So let's try that. The first thing that comes through is the strong taste of vinegar, and obviously the taste of those anchovies or whitebaits or boquerones, if you like, quite strong. And as I said, combined with these crisps or chips, a little bit different, because I was in the supermarket and I found these here. As you can see, they're crisps or chips with a fried egg taste. Unusual, but I've seen these in the supermarket and I've got them, and I'm going to say that you can really taste the egg. Egg yolk, I think, is the strong taste. Let me try again. So, an unusually flavoured chip, but as I said, if you put one of these boquerones here on top, like this, you've got yourself a decent snack. So, boquerones en vinagre, patatas fritas, sabor huevo, or ovo in Portuguese. Because as we can see here on the packet, you've got huevo, ovo, which as we know, Portuguese, because Mercadona is trying to break into the Portuguese market if they haven't done so already. Now, I haven't mentioned the wine. Today I've gone for a white wine, a Verdejo wine, which is quite popular nowadays, this Verdejo. And it's grown just here to the north of Madrid in the Valladolid province. place called Rueda, and I'll just show you guys the bottle. Around 350, I think this bottle was. Verdejo 2022, 13% alcohol, and as I said, from the Rueda area. Keeping it chilled, and it's not a bad drop. If you like white wine, that is. I enjoy white wine, I'm not going to lie, and this is one of my favorites. 350 a bottle. You can get it in Mercadona for €2 a bottle, the same variety. And for white wine here in Spain, I don't pay more than €5, €6. Normally around that $3.50 mark for white wine. A little bit more when it comes to red wine, €8, €9, €10 when it comes to red. But for white, $3.50. Now, the next thing, another specialty that you will see quite often in bars here in Spain as a tapa, and this is patatas alioli. So we've got boiled potatoes with a thick mayonnaise or a garlic infused mayonnaise sauce. As I said, very popular here. In Madrid, there's not a bar around that doesn't have this available as a tapa or a ración, if you like. Tapa, you normally get it with your drink for free. Ración, you have to order it. Comes on a plate around this size, maybe a little bit bigger, depending on how much you want to pay. But I'd say this was a tapa, I would say. This is what they would give you as a tapa, the patatas alioli. So alioli potatoes, if you like, boiled, as I said. The potatoes are well cooked. The mayonnaise is garlicky, obviously. It's smooth, it's creamy. Got some chives in here, maybe some parsley. And this is a tasty little aperitivo, as they say here, or starter, or tapa, bit more of this. Nice. And this is something that everyone seems to enjoy here. Kids, adults, very popular. And a lot of people will order patatas alioli when they go to a bar or restaurant as an appetizer or a starter or as a tapa, as I said. Now the next thing on the menu is this one here, migas. Not sure whether these are migas extremeñas from Extremadura. Not sure whether they're from Castilla-La Mancha. Not sure whether they're from Andalusia, because different parts of the country have different types of migas. But what we can see here in this particular type of miga, we've got breadcrumbs. We've also got panceta or pancetta. We've got chorizo as well. And these have been cooked in olive oil, I imagine, and a little bit of paprika as well. And I'm going to be honest, this is one of my favorite tapas, if you like, here in Spain. And also when you're in a place like Extremadura, this is a tasty dish. So let's tuck in and see what these are like. Sometimes they're a little bit dry. Let's hope that these aren't too dry. Nice. Chorizo. Smoky. That's one thing I like. Panceta or bacon. Again, smoky. And you can really taste all of the ingredients here. The breadcrumbs, the panceta, the bacon, the chorizo, that's what we've got in here. And the paprika as well, giving it that orangey colour. And done with a bit of virgin olive oil, no doubt. Tasty. And as I said, when I'm in Extremadura, this is something that I do order. It's the typical farmer's dish, if you like. People were looking for things to whip up with the leftovers. They came up with a dish like this. Simple but tasty, and for people working in the fields, not on a hot day like this, but in winter months, farmers would come back home and they would have a plate of this waiting for them to fill them up, to give them energy in order to get back out into the fields and do their jobs in that long working day. Migas. Now the final thing on the menu today is this rice dish. This is called arroz con secreto ibérico. Secreto is a cut of pork. There's different cuts nowadays apart from the traditional cuts. Obviously you've got your pork chops, you've got your lomo and things like that, your loin. And then there's all of these other cuts nowadays. You've got presa, secreto, pluma, all of these different cuts of pork. And this is one, as I said, called Secreto. And this here, as I said, typical yellow rice dish. They wouldn't call this paella because it's not paella. It's just a yellow rice dish being flavoured with saffron or some other type of maybe artificial colourer, which is also quite common when they do rices with the pork. And we'll see if it's well cooked. It is. We've got mushroom in here as well. I'm not sure whether that's what they call here boletos. Maybe it is. Let me try. Don't know. But the rice is well cooked. It's well seasoned. Flavors are nice. The pork is tasty, well cooked as well. Tender when you bite into it. And the rice is also quite good. Let's have a bit more of this pork. So let's summarize what we've got here. So the final thing, arroz con secreto ibérico, which is a typical rice and pork dish. As I said, tasty. Then we had the migas. Don't know whether they're from Extremadura, don't know whether they're from Castilla-La Mancha, no idea, but tasty nonetheless with the panceta, chorizo and the like. Before that we had the patatas alioli, which, as I said, stock standard in most bars, restaurants. You'll see this on the counter. Order it with your beer. They'll give it to you as a tapa a lot of the times as well if you get the choice. This is something that I do recommend. Creamy garlic infused mayonnaise, parsley, chives on top there. Nice. Can't complain. Before that we had the boquerones in vinagre, the whitebait in vinegar if you like. Also tasty. Put it on one of these chips, one of these fried egg flavoured chips, and you got yourself also a nice little tapa here. We'll get that out of the way also. And the first thing that I started with, and I'm going to be honest, it wasn't the thing that I liked the most, was this Ajo Blanco, which, as we saw here, was like a almond milk or something, creamy, garlicky. Ajo Blanco, gazpacho blanco de almendras. Not my favourite. Wasn't too bad, but I wouldn't order it again, to be honest. And of course, all washed down with a white wine from the Rueda area, which is one of my favourite white wine areas. Different white wines in the country: Rueda, Galicia, Albarino, also Castilla-La Mancha has some decent white wines as well. €3.50, not a bad drop. I recommend this wine. Let me have another sip. So there we go. That's my meal for today, all bought from the supermarket Mercadona. Tasty, can't complain, and for the price, I think all of this cost me around €11, so a decent meal today. And I reckon there's enough food here for 2 or 3 people, if I'm being honest. My son is over here tucking into the chips and the boquerones because that's one of his favorites too, and I'm sure that he'll be able to clean up these plates also when I'm done with them. So questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you've tried this food here in Spain from your local Mercadona supermarket, let us know what you think. I reckon the quality is all right. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.